Welcome to part 3 of our Advanced English Vocabulary series. In this episode, we're diving into words 251 to 350, each one paired with a short, meaningful story to help you remember the word in context. So grab a notebook, sit back, and let's explore the power of words together.
251. Aberration. Meaning, a departure from what is normal or expected. Story. When the sun rose in the west one morning, the villagers knew it was no ordinary day. The phenomenon was an aberration, defying every natural law they knew. That day marked the beginning of many strange events. 252. Belligerent. Meaning, hostile and aggressive. Story. During the town meeting, Mr. Clark's belligerent attitude surprised everyone. His words were sharp and his posture threatening. Later, he apologized, saying stress had brought out the worst in him. 253. Capitulate. Meaning, to surrender or cease to resist. Story. The knight fought bravely, but when his sword broke, he looked at his wounded horse and capitulated. He laid down his arms, knowing no victory was worth the cost. 254. Deleterious. Meaning, causing harm or damage. Story. The chemicals in the lake had a deleterious effect on the fish. What once was a vibrant ecosystem had become a silent graveyard, all due to one factory's carelessness. 255. Enervate. Meaning, to weaken or drain of energy. Story. The endless heat of the desert began to enervate the travelers. Each step grew heavier, their spirits sagging under the relentless sun until they found shade and hope in an oasis. 256. Facetious. Meaning, treating serious issues with deliberately inappropriate humor. Story. When the doctor cracked a joke during the operation prep, the patient looked confused. "Sorry," he smiled. "I'm just being facetious to calm your nerves." The patient smiled back, feeling slightly better. 257. Gregarious. Meaning, sociable and outgoing. Story. Mia's gregarious nature made her the center of attention at every party. She didn't just talk. She made people feel seen and heard, which is why everyone loved being around her. 258. Harangue. Meaning, a long and aggressive speech. Story. The mayor's harangue about the city's waste problem lasted an hour. While intense, it stirred action. By the next week, recycling bins appeared on every corner. 259. Idiosyncrasy. Meaning, a peculiar behavior or trait. Story. Mr. Brown always wore mismatched socks. It was his little idiosyncrasy, a quirk that puzzled his students but made him unforgettable. 260. Juxtapose. Meaning, to place side by side for contrast. Story. The artist chose to juxtapose chaos and calm by painting a storm next to a peaceful village. The contrast left viewers speechless. 261. Kinetic. Meaning, relating to or resulting from motion story. The kinetic sculpture in the gallery spun with the wind. Children gathered around it, amazed that something so still could come to life with just a breeze. 262. Laconic. Meaning, using very few words. Story. When asked how the movie was, Sam just said, "Decent." His laconic style always left people guessing what he really thought. 263. Magnanimous. Meaning, generous or forgiving story. Even after her rival betrayed her, Alina remained magnanimous. She offered help instead of revenge, leaving everyone in awe of her grace. 264. Nefarious. Meaning, wicked or criminal story. The villain's nefarious plans were finally exposed. He had hidden behind a kind face, but the truth revealed a heart full of darkness. 265. Obfuscate. Meaning, to confuse or make unclear story. The politician used big words to obfuscate the truth. But the reporter saw through the smokescreen and asked the real question everyone wanted answered. 266. Parsimonious. Meaning, unwilling to spend money or use resources. Story. His parsimonious habits meant he reused tea bags and counted every coin. Yet, he was always generous with his time and advice. 267. Quandary. Meaning, a state of uncertainty or perplexity. Story. Stuck between a job she hated and a risky startup, Lisa found herself in a real quandary. 268. Reclusive. Meaning, avoiding the company of others. Solitary. Story. The reclusive author hadn't been seen in public for years, but his books continued to capture hearts worldwide. 269. Sanguine. Meaning, optimistic or positive, especially in a difficult situation story. Despite the heavy losses, the commander remained sanguine, believing they could turn the tide. 270. Tenacious. Meaning, holding fast, persistent, and determined. Story. Her tenacious spirit kept her training even after failing multiple times, and eventually, she won the race. 271. Ubiquitous. Meaning, present, appearing, or found everywhere. Story. Smartphones have become so ubiquitous that it's hard to imagine life without them. 272. Vacillate. Meaning, to alternate or waver between opinions or actions. Story. He vacillated between telling the truth and protecting his friend, unsure what was right. 273. Winsome. Meaning, charming or appealing in a sweet or innocent way. Story. Her winsome smile melted even the sternest teacher's heart. 274. Xenial. Meaning, hospitable, especially to guests or strangers. Story. Their xenial behavior made even a foreigner feel like family. 275. Yearn. Meaning, to have an intense feeling of longing for something. Story. She yearned for home, the scent of spices, the chatter, the warmth. 276. Zealous. Meaning, having or showing great energy or enthusiasm. Story. The young volunteer was so zealous, he inspired others to join the cause. 277. Abstruse. Meaning, difficult to understand. Story. The professor's lecture on quantum mechanics was so abstruse that even the top students struggled to follow. 278. Blithe. Meaning, showing a casual and cheerful indifference. Story. She danced through the rain with a blithe spirit, unconcerned about the mud or mess. 279. Cacophony. Meaning, a harsh, discordant mixture of sounds. Story. The city awoke to a cacophony of sirens, honking horns, and shouting vendors. 280. Dearth. Meaning, a lack or scarcity of something. Story. During the drought, there was a dearth of clean water, and villagers had to walk miles to find it. 281. Esoteric. Meaning, intended for or understood by only a small number of people. Story. The ancient manuscript was filled with esoteric symbols understood only by trained historians. 282. Furtive. Meaning, attempting to avoid notice or attention. Story. He cast a furtive glance at the door before slipping quietly out of the room. 283. Hapless. Meaning, unfortunate. Story. The hapless tourist lost his wallet, missed his flight, and then got caught in the rain. 284. Inundate. Meaning, to overwhelm. Or flood. Story. After the celebrity posted her recipe, she was inundated with emails and requests. 285. Jocular. Meaning, humorous or playful. Story. His jocular manner made even the grumpiest co-workers smile during meetings. 286. Kowtow. Meaning, to act in an excessively subservient manner. Story. The assistant kowtowed to the boss's every whim, desperate for approval. 287. Lurid. Meaning, presented in a vividly shocking or sensational way. Story. The tabloid ran a lurid story that exaggerated the scandal far beyond the truth. 288. Myopic. Meaning, lacking foresight or intellectual insight. Story. The board's myopic decision to cut R&D hurt the company's long-term growth. 289. Nonplussed. Meaning, confused or bewildered. Story. He stood nonplussed at the podium, unable to recall his lines despite hours of rehearsal. 290. Obsequious, meaning excessively eager to please or obey. Story: his obsequious compliments made everyone uncomfortable. 291. Panacea, meaning a solution or remedy for all problems. Story: technology is not a panacea for every educational challenge. 292. Quixotic, meaning exceedingly idealistic, unrealistic, and impractical. Story: his quixotic quest to build a flying car earned him more laughs than support. 293. Recalcitrant, meaning stubbornly resistant to authority or control. Story: the recalcitrant child refused to go to bed despite repeated warnings. 294. Spurious, meaning false or fake. Story: the detective quickly identified the spurious evidence planted to mislead the case. 295. Terse, meaning sparing in the use of words. Abrupt. Story: his terse reply signaled he wasn't in the mood for conversation. 296. Unctuous, meaning excessively flattering or ingratiating. Story: the unctuous salesman praised the customer endlessly, hoping to secure the sale. 297. Vitriolic, meaning filled with bitter criticism or malice. Story: the critic's vitriolic review devastated the young director. 298. Wistful, meaning longing or yearning for something in the past. Story: she grew wistful, remembering the carefree summers of her childhood. 299. Yoke, meaning to join or link together, especially in a burdensome way. Story: the farmer yoked the oxen together, just as tradition dictated. 300. Zenith, meaning the highest point or peak. Story: the performer reached the zenith of her career with a sold-out world tour. 301. Ascetic, meaning practicing severe self-discipline and abstention. Story: the monk lived an ascetic life in the mountains with no luxuries or distractions. 300. 2. Bucolic, meaning relating to the pleasant aspects of the countryside. Story: the artist painted bucolic scenes filled with rolling hills and grazing sheep. 303. Chicanery, meaning deception or trickery. Story: voters grew tired of political chicanery and demanded transparency. 304. Disparate, meaning essentially different in kind. Story: their disparate backgrounds made collaboration challenging but fruitful. 305. Egregious, meaning outstandingly bad. Shocking. Story: his egregious mistake cost the team their final match. 306. Fastidious, meaning very attentive to detail. Story: she was fastidious about cleanliness, scrubbing every corner twice. 307. Garrulous, meaning excessively talkative. Story: the garrulous old man told stories that went on for hours. 308. Hegemony, meaning leadership or dominance, especially by one country or group. Story: the empire's cultural hegemony spread its influence across continents. 309. Ineffable, meaning too great or extreme to be expressed in words. Story: the beauty of the sunrise left them in ineffable awe. 310. Juvenescent, meaning becoming young or youthful. Story: the spa advertised juvenescent treatments to make clients feel reborn. 311. Kismet, meaning destiny or fate. Story: they believed it was kismet that they met on that rainy night. 312. Lethargy, meaning a lack of energy and enthusiasm. Story: the hot afternoon air induced a deep lethargy in the entire village. 313. Misnomer, meaning a wrong or inaccurate name. Story: Dry Lake was a misnomer. Water flowed freely all year. 314. Nebulous, meaning vague or ill-defined. Story: his ideas for the new company were still nebulous and needed shaping. 315. Obstreperous, meaning noisy and difficult to control. Story, the obstreperous toddlers made the waiting room a chaotic scene. 316. Proclivity. Meaning, a natural tendency to do something. Story, she had a proclivity for solving puzzles and codes. 317. Quell. Meaning, to suppress or put an end to. Story, the teacher managed to quell the argument with a firm tone. 318. Rancor. Meaning, bitterness or resentfulness. Story, years after the betrayal, his heart still burned with rancor. 319. Salient. Meaning, most noticeable or important. Story, her salient point won over the entire boardroom. 320. Truculent. Meaning, eager to argue or fight. Story, his truculent response silenced the crowd and escalated tensions. 321. Untenable. Meaning, not able to be maintained or defended. Story, his argument became untenable when the facts came to light. 322. Veracity. Meaning, conformity to facts. Accuracy. Story, the journalist was known for her veracity and never published unverified stories. 323. Winsome. Meaning, attractive or appealing in a charming way. Story, his winsome smile won the crowd over before he even spoke. 324. Xenophobia. Meaning, dislike or fear of people from other countries. Story, the community worked hard to eliminate xenophobia through cultural festivals. 325. Yearling. Meaning, an animal, especially a sheep or calf, that is a year old. Story, the yearling pranced playfully through the pasture, still full of youthful energy. 326. Zenith. Meaning, the highest point or peak. Story, winning the Nobel Prize marked the zenith of her scientific career. 327. Abnegation. Meaning, the act of renouncing or rejecting something. Story, his abnegation of wealth to live simply inspired many. 328. Beleaguered. Meaning, beset with difficulties. Story, the beleaguered city struggled to rebuild after the storm. 329. Capitulation. Meaning, the act of surrendering or ceasing to resist. Story, the general's capitulation was swift, knowing the war was lost. 330. Deride. Meaning, to mock or ridicule. Story, they derided his ideas until one of them actually worked. 331. Ennui. Meaning, a feeling of listlessness from lack of excitement. Story, trapped indoors during the storm, a sense of ennui settled over the children. 332. Flummoxed. Meaning, confused or bewildered. Story, the magician's final trick left the audience completely flummoxed. 333. Gumption. Meaning, courage and initiative. Story, it took gumption to start a business with no experience, but she did it. 334. Hubris. Meaning, excessive pride or self-confidence. Story, his hubris blinded him to the flaws in his plan. 335. Inept. Meaning, having or showing no skill. Story, the intern was initially inept, but improved quickly with training. 336. Jejune. Meaning, naive, simplistic, and superficial. Story, the essay was dismissed as jejune and lacking depth. 337. Kafkaesque. Meaning, oppressively complex and illogical. Story, the bureaucracy was so Kafkaesque, she spent weeks trying to file a form. 338. Lackadaisical. Meaning, lacking enthusiasm and determination. Story, his lackadaisical attitude toward homework concerned his parents. 339. Mercurial. Meaning, subject to sudden changes of mood or mind. Story, her mercurial nature made her exciting but unpredictable. 340. Nonchalant. Meaning, calm and relaxed, not showing anxiety or interest. Story, he remained nonchalant even when facing a difficult question. 341. Obdurate, meaning stubbornly refusing to change one's opinion. Story. Despite the evidence, she remained obdurate in her beliefs. 342. Paragon, meaning a model of excellence. Story. She was a paragon of kindness and professionalism. 343. Querulous, meaning complaining in a petulant manner. Story. The querulous guest found fault in everything at the hotel. 344. Rescind, meaning to revoke or cancel a decision or agreement. Story. The manager decided to rescind the job offer after a background check. 345. Sycophant, meaning a person who acts obsequiously towards someone important. Story. The sycophant constantly flattered his boss, hoping for a promotion. 346. Temerity, meaning excessive confidence or boldness. Story. She had the temerity to challenge the judge in open court. 347. Ubiquity, meaning the state of being everywhere at once. Story. The ubiquity of smartphones has changed how we interact with the world. 348. Vacuous, meaning lacking intelligence or thought. Story. His vacuous comment stunned the room into silence. 349. Wanton, meaning deliberate and unprovoked, often cruel or violent. Story. The wanton destruction of the park shocked the neighborhood. 350. Zephyr, meaning a soft, gentle breeze. Story. A cool zephyr drifted through the open window, calming everyone inside.
Thank you for joining us in this third part of your vocabulary journey. By learning these 100 advanced English words through stories, you're not just memorizing definitions, you're mastering language in a way that sticks. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow for part 4, where we continue to grow your vocabulary with even more powerful words and